Hello and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News and Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Amina Jibril. Now, a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nigecomsat. Ahead of the Christmas and New Year celebrations, the Federal Capital Territory Police Command has announced a prohibition on the use of firecrackers, popularly known as knockouts. This announcement was contained in a statement by the FCT Command spokesperson, Josephine Adem. According to the statement, the Commissioner of Police, Olatunji Disu, explained that the measure is aimed at ensuring the safety of lives and property during the festive period, as using of firecrackers often causes unnecessary panic, poses fire risks, and could lead to other avoidable incidents. Reports gathered say the federal government has spent an additional 14 billion naira on various military equipment between September and October 2024. This move, according to reports, is in response to the rising spate of insecurity. According to the reports, the government had in the first 7 months of this year, spent 63.6 billion naira to procure equipment and ammunition for the military and the Office of the National Security Advisor. Similarly, on April 16, 2024, the government, through the Ministry of Defense, paid 990 million naira to a company named Equipment and Protective Applications International Limited for the procurement of ammunitions. And on April 22nd, 2024, the ministry also paid 941 million naira to the same company for the procurement of light tactical armored vehicles, heavy anti-mine armored vehicles, and ammunition for the armed forces of Nigeria. Meanwhile, troops of Operation Fansanyama have destroyed 22 camps of Lakurawa, killing several of them in Sokoto State. The Acting General Commanding Officer, 8th Division and Commander, Sector 2, Operation Fansanyama, Brigadier General Ibikunle Ajose, stated this while addressing the special brigade deployed to crush Lakurawa in Sokoto and Kebbi States by the Chief of Defense Staff. He said the troops also recovered weapons and ammunition during the operations. According to him, the operation led to the destruction of about 22 camps, neutralization of several members of the sect, recovery of 4 rifles and 409 PKT, 7.62 mm NATO and 94 by 7.62 mm special rounds ammunition. Ajose charged the troops to ensure total destruction of the Lakurawa sect, enjoining them to abide by the rules of engagement, as well as ensuring the protection of lives and properties of law-abiding citizens. In another development, the monarch of Okeila in the Laluku government area of Osun State, Oba Adedokun Obalari, has identified the quality of education as a crucial means of eradicating poverty in Nigeria. The monarch to this end called on government at all levels to increase their investment in education in order to enable every child have access to qualitative education. Abolari made the call at the 14th convocation lecture of Achievers University or WAR in Ondo State, where he stressed that quality education should be made available to everyone, including children from low-income families, migrants, indigenous communities, and also those with disabilities. The Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, Brigadier General Yushau Ahmed, has advised Corps members to stop thinking of relocating back to their communities, emphasizing that life does not end there. Ahmed stated this when he visited the NYSC temporary orientation camp in Kaduna, urging the Corps members to find a home anywhere they were posted to, as he emphasized the importance of adapting to new environments. And the Senate has directed the Federal Capital Territory Minister, Nyesom Wike, to immediately halt all ongoing property demolitions in Abuja. This resolution followed concerns over alleged irregularities and hardships caused by the demolitions. In addition, the Senate summoned the minister to appear before an ad hoc committee formed to investigate the demolition activities. The committee, chaired by Deputy Senate President Senator Jibrin Barau, has been given 2 weeks to submit its findings. The stakeholders in road safety have rallied support for the formation of a special armed squad for the Federal Road Safety Corps. It was reported that the stakeholders made their position known when they appeared before the House of Representatives public hearing on a bill seeking to amend some sections of the FRSC Act 2007 in Abuja. They called for a speedy passage of the bill without recourse to sentiment, adding that it was long overdue. And the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund, says its attention has been drawn to insinuations, particularly across social media platforms, that the All Progressives Congress, APC, received funding of 325 million naira between October 2023 and October 2024 from the fund. TET Fund's Director of Public Affairs, Abdul Mumin Oniangi, in a press release stated that a letter allegedly written by a certain woman leader of the Adamawa State chapter of the APC, Patricia Yakubu, to the National Security Advisor is not only ridiculous and totally false, but also a great disservice to the nation that an individual of such political standing would engage in frivolity bereft of any evidence. The Tertiary Education Trust Fund therefore urged detractors to get their facts right and avoid misleading members of the public, reassuring that it has undertaken its mandate over the years with renewed vigor under the leadership of President Bola Tinubu. And the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it plans to seek an amendment to the Electoral Act 2022 to clarify issues surrounding result management, particularly the manual transfer and electronic transmission of election results. The Commission's chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, disclosed this during a meeting with resident electoral commissioners in Abuja. He said that the proposal is one of 8 legislative changes arising from the 2023 general elections that require National Assembly action. In order to alleviate the sufferings of flood victims across the country, the federal government, through the Ministry of Regional Development, has handed over palliatives to the Imo State government to support victims of floods and other vulnerable groups. The presentation in Owerri was led by the Minister of Regional Development, Abubakar Momo, with the Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, receiving the items. Our correspondent, Amarachi Ibe, has the rest of the story.
Presenting the palliative to Governor Uzodinma, the Minister of Regional Development explained that the intervention is targeted at alleviating the plight of flood victims and the less privileged in the state.
I welcome you to this symbolic presentation of palliative items to the people of Imo State. I made a presentation to the President and he graciously approved that palliative items ranging from rice, beans, mosquito nets, and what have you. The idea here today is to symbolically present this item to the people who are, of course, were affected and those who are also in need.
Governor Uzodinma, in his response, commended the federal government for the timely support and pledged that the palliative would be distributed to the intended beneficiaries.
So we received this with warm hearts, while thanking you for being able to do this, and also charging the committee, because the idea is that this thing has a target. The work of the committee is to ensure that this gets to the people who are affected by the flood. And if it is done and done well, the donors will be happy. Those who receive these materials will also be happy.
The high point of the event was the symbolic presentation of relief items to some beneficiaries. The federal government's gesture highlights its commitment to supporting states in crisis and ensuring aid reaches the most vulnerable. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
And elsewhere in the news, a fire broke out at the Christ Apostolic Church in Wisdom Estate, Ibadan, Oyo State. The incident, which occurred around 9:30 p.m., was confirmed by sources who revealed that several worshippers were trapped in the building during a Friday night vigil. The Oyo State Fire Services responded to the scene after being alerted by a resident. The agency's general manager, Akinyemi Akinyinka, confirmed the incident but noted that the cause of the fire remains unknown as at the time of filing this report, stressing, however, that efforts to ascertain the full extent of the damage and possible casualties are ongoing. You're watching Midday News on Global Television from the nation's capital, Abuja. When the news returns, one dead and dozens missing in Greece, migrant boats sinking. Details of that story as well as business and sports stories coming right after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned. And now we move on to the business scene where the Federation Account Allocation Committee, FAC, has distributed a total of 1.727 trillion naira, representing the November 2024 Federation Accounts revenue among the federal, state, and local governments. The distributed revenue comprised 455.354 billion naira from statutory allocations, 585.700 billion naira from value-added tax, and 15.046 billion naira from the electronic money transfer levy, as well as 671.392 billion naira from exchange difference revenue. A communique issued after the meeting revealed that total gross revenue for November 2024 stood at 3.14 trillion naira. Out of this amount, 103.307 billion naira was deducted for the cost of collection, while 1.312 trillion naira was allocated for transfers, interventions, and refunds. The gross statutory revenue for the month amounted to 1.827 trillion naira, reflecting an increase of 490.339 billion naira from the 1.336 trillion naira recorded in October 2024. And from the total distributable revenue of 1.727 trillion naira, the federal government received 581.856 billion naira, while the state government and local government councils received 549.792 billion naira and 402.553 billion naira respectively, while an additional 193.291 billion naira, representing 13% of mineral revenue, was allocated to oil producing states as derivation revenue. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edo, has disclosed that the federal government has initiated measures to subsidize local wheat production to enhance food security and reduce reliance on imported wheat. Speaking in Abuja, the minister stated that the effort is part of a broader strategy to promoting agricultural productivity and bolster economic growth through the National Agricultural Growth Scheme and Agro Pocket. He added that the scheme spans 16 wheat-producing states and is designed to empower farmers with financial support and resources for improved wheat cultivation. The National Project Coordinator, Ishaku Buba, while briefing the minister, noted that the financial incentives provided under the program, which according to him includes a 25% subsidy on certified wheat seeds and a 50% subsidy on fertilizers, aimed at reducing production cost for farmers. And the board of the World Bank Group is expected to meet and decide on approving a $500 million loan to Nigeria in order to boost rural access and agricultural marketing in the country. According to information obtained from the Washington-based institution, the loan is for the Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project Scale-Up. It is designed to bridge the gap between rural communities and the broader marketplace, facilitating smoother access to agricultural markets, schools and hospitals, and promoting social cohesion among rural populations. From that, now we move on to the foreign scene, where South Korean lawmakers have impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol over his failed martial law bid, with the opposition declaring a victory of the people. The vote took place as hundreds of thousands took to the streets of Seoul in rival rallies for and against Yoon, who launched a failed attempt to impose martial law on December 3rd. Out of 300 lawmakers, 204 voted to impeach the president on allegations of insurrection, while 85 voted against. 3 abstained, with 8 votes nullified. With the impeachment, Yoon has been suspended from office while South Korea's Constitutional Court deliberates on the vote. Prime Minister Han Duck-soo is now the nation's interim leader, as the court now has 180 days to rule on Yoon's future. Greece's Coast Guard has revealed that 1 man died when a migrant boat sank off Crete, while 40 other persons are reportedly missing and 39 survivors were rescued. Reports say the boat sank 12 nautical miles southwest of the island. The Coast Guard said a huge rescue operation is, however, underway in the sea south of the island of Gavdos after the boat capsized shortly after midnight. An Italian frigate and helicopters were operating at the site, with more ships heading to the area. And a former Manchester City footballer is set to be appointed president of Georgia's disputed parliament after 16 days of pro-EU protest. 53 years old Mikhail Kavelashvili is a former member of parliament from the increasingly authoritarian ruling Georgian Dream Party and the only candidate for the job. Protesters began gathering outside parliament with demonstrations planned for later. The four main opposition groups have rejected Kavelashvili and have boycotted parliament, insisting that the elections held in October were rigged. Georgia's outgoing pro-Western president Salome Zurabichvili has condemned Kavelashvili's election as a travesty, insisting she holds Georgia's only remaining legitimate institution. And now to the world of sports. Nigeria's Super Falcons maintained the 36th position in the latest women's ranking released by the Federation of International Football Association (FIFA). The 9-time African champions played 3 friendly matches within the period under review, defeating Algeria twice but lost 2-1 to Les Bleus of France last month. Nigeria also maintained the top position in Africa, with the Bayana of South Africa in second position. Morocco, Zambia and Ghana are the other countries in the top 5. And the leadership of the National Sports Commission, NSC, under the chairmanship of Shehu Diko and Director General Bukola Olupade, have presented a progress report to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the state of the sports sector. A statement issued by the Special Advisor on Media to the DG NSC, Kola Daniel, stated that the report was presented by the NSC's door during a meeting with Tinubu at the presidential villa. The statement noted that Diko expressed gratitude to the president for the trust placed on him and the DG, promising to justify the trust. And lastly, Akwa United FC of Uyo have been reprimanded by the Nigeria Premier Football League (NPFL) for threatening the crew of Propel Sport Africa over the top broadcast streaming partners of the league. Similarly, the welfare officer of the club was invited to face a disciplinary panel over threats he was seen on a video footage issued to the broadcast crew. In a letter titled Warning on Unprofessional Conduct of Club Officials, the NPFL expressed concerns that such actions may have grave consequences on contractual obligations to partners. On that note, we come to the end of Midday News, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276, and free-to-air on Nightcomsat. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @GlobalTVNG. I am Amina Jibril. Thank you for watching and have a good afternoon.